Hey guys, welcome to another episode of StewTube. It is October 20th, and as most of you are aware, that the market has been pumping a little bit. I want to take a look at my macro trend once again. As well, I want to take a look at that trade that I entered last week, which I am still in, by the way. Not much, but just a little bit. I'll show you how I've been playing that. As well, I want to take a little bit of a look at Ethereum and even the US dollar index. If you guys think that sounds good, then give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and with that, let's get it. Alright guys, going to start by looking at my weekly chart. This is the Bitstamp chart as I normally look at for the macro trend because it has the most historical data here. As you can see, I do still have my triangle outlined here, playing out beautifully in my opinion. A lot of people are saying that they're not sure where the market is going and that sort of stuff, guys. This pattern has been playing out exactly as I thought it would, and I have been pointing it out since even before the COVID dump, which we wicked perfectly to my trend line. And if a global pandemic can still follow my technicals absolutely beautifully like that, it makes me feel that this pattern is even more valid, you guys. I feel like it's been validated very strongly in many ways. As well, I pointed out this golden cross here, and with the 21-week moving average was looking to hold as support, which it has done beautifully, guys. Just everything about this is looking beautiful. You know, I've pointed out in 100 different videos, not literally, but so many of my older videos and even my last video, I pointed out the measured move of this triangle, and I really do think that this market is on its way to $27,000. If that does happen, I totally expect FOMO to kick in, and I would expect the price to go much higher. That being said, guys, this is a weekly pattern, and really there's going to be some bumps on the road. Don't expect it to just moonshot straight up to 27,000, even 20,000. You guys know, even if you're following today, like the 12,000 mark is acting as resistance. We're going to find those bumps along the way, guys. But what we really want to focus on now is eclipsing this high here. And that would take us into this red box. I don't think I had it on my last video, but months ago I did have this exact box drawn out several times in several different videos. And if we can get above this box and test it as support, I think that is where we are going to see some true fireworks and start thinking about testing this $20,000 high, because for one, we would be eclipsing this high here. That's a fairly significant higher high in my opinion, guys, so that's just something to watch out for on the macro trend here. If I zoom in a little bit, guys, here to my daily chart, you can see that I know in my last video I did point out this horizontal green trend line, and it was acting as support for this cluster here, as well as it got a bit of a resist flip here, but then I had pointed out that we are once again respecting it as support, and that is absolutely beautiful, guys. That's exactly what we want to see. Not only that, but we did get this golden cross on the daily chart as well. You can see here this 21 daily moving average is also below the price, so that'll be some nice support there. Everything in this trend looks absolutely beautiful to me, guys. Even that daily close that we just got, you can see that it's eclipsing this wick right here. Not that it's a super significant level of interest to me, but it is nice to see that we are still painting candles going higher. Candle bodies are closing higher and higher. That's beautiful. As well, I pointed out this green channel in my last video, and I said that I was expecting it to act as support here. And you can see here that it's absolutely playing out beautifully, and I don't see any reason why we aren't working our way back up to the top of this channel, which would possibly even break us above 14,000, or maybe we'll hit it relatively soon in the next couple days, and we'll just spike right up. And that would also make a lot of sense, guys, if we would test around that 14K, right where kind of this red box would meet up with my green channel. That would be today or tomorrow, guys. I'm not saying that's a probability, but it is a possibility. Once daily candles start really painting higher highs and that sort of thing, the price can very much so explode where you just get a big move, something like this. Not saying it has to happen, and of course guys, none of this is financial advice. Always do your own research. I'll never tell you how to spend your hard-earned money. That's something you gotta decide for your own. I'm just showing you how I'm playing this market and the things I'm looking at. But everything on a macro perspective, guys, looks absolutely beautifully to me, guys. I have been very bullish on this. Even actually, just before the COVID dump, I was bullish, and that's when I first started making videos. And I did have the triangle painted out for you guys. I did not expect to get that dump where we tested the line, but unfortunately, that was a bit of a black swan event. I can't predict when the economy is going to go to shit because of a global pandemic and that sort of stuff, guys. But other than that, I am very bullish on the macro trend. Everything's playing out exactly how I was kind of predicting, and I've been sticking to my guns here about this triangle and getting our break and moving up from there. I've been pointing this out since I believe March, you guys, since I started making videos, so this seems like a very predictable chart to me. A lot of people are saying that don't listen to analysts right now. It's basically a coin flip, blah, blah, blah. Well, I've been entering a lot of bullish plays. I've been doing a lot of longs. And whether it's a quick snipe or a bit of a longer trade like the one I'm in right now, I've been playing this market fairly well. There has been, I think I'm at something like, I might even be in double digits for straight profitable trades right now. And I mean, of course, everybody loses trades. I'm not saying I don't lose trades, but recently it's been going very well. And I'm hoping it continues to. And I'm going to continue to play this market with a very bullish bias because it's been working out, guys. So that's just something to consider. Basically, guys, I'm going to remain bullish on this trend until we basically drop out of this channel. That would be currently around 10.8K. If we drop that, I might begin to get a little more bearish on the trend, but I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. I think this channel looks good. I think the trend looks good. Also with that 21-week moving average, not on this chart, let's just take a look back again. That is, well, that's down at about 10.5K. So even if we drop to that, I do expect this moving average to hold as support, because usually when we get above that and a bull market starts, it acts as a very reliable support. And same with in a bear market, it acts as very strong resistance. So that's something to consider, guys. Other than that, I'm going to zoom in here. This is the 15-minute chart, and I know it is zoomed out far, but we're just looking at smaller price action here. But you can see I entered this trade back here at 11,270. I was pointing it out on Twitter. I made videos about it on YouTube here. And if you look at my previous videos, you can see what led me to enter that long position there. It was 25x, guys. So it's obviously absolutely beautiful. I have been taking profits along the way. Don't think that my entire position is still open. I only have about 10% of my original position still open, but at 25x, guys, that's well, it's over 130% what's left of it. So not that there is much left once again, but it's an absolutely beautiful trade and everything is playing out perfectly. Right now, I'll bring up my indicators here. You can see I drew out this green upward sloping trend line today, and we did actually just kind of test it within the last few hours with a bullish pivot point, and you know that the bullish pivot point was one of the indications why I took this trade in the first place. I don't have the trifecta that I like with the double bottom, bullish pivot point, bullish RSI divergence and all that, but it is something to consider that things still aren't looking so bad while we're holding above that trend line, even though we got rejected around 12K for now. The fact that this never just sent us into the abyss and just absolutely dumped when everyone was expecting 12K to be such a strong resistance, that screams bullishness at me, you guys, because not only would people have been looking to short that 12K mark, but so many people in long positions would have been looking to sell out of their position, even just to lock in profits, guys. So there should have been a lot of selling action here, and we just found support along my trend line. Absolutely beautiful. Another thing from a fundamental point of view, you guys, I am new to Twitter. I hope I'm using it properly and not pissing anybody off. But one thing I've noticed is a lot of the bigger crypto YouTubers are very bullish on the market. But when you start to look into the comments and the replies and that sort of thing, you guys, you can see that the sentiment, even though we have been so bullish and things are blowing up and that sort of stuff, the comments are still very negative for what I'm seeing in the price. Usually people like to go absolutely nuts, but I feel like that bear market lasted so long that people just are unable to flip their bias. They just think there's no way that Bitcoin is ready to go up, especially when you have people talking about the CME futures gap and that sort of stuff. Again, that is one of those indications, or one of those indicators, I guess, that quite often those gaps almost always fill. I will give it that, but they don't have to. There's nothing saying they absolutely have to fill. So you can't just put your entire trading bias based on one fucking fact that doesn't mean jack shit right now. Hopefully I got my point across there. Generally, those gaps fill pretty quick. It hasn't filled quickly. I don't see why it has to. And guys, if it does fill, it's not like I'm about to get wrecked. I'm just going to lock in profits on my trade and walk away, and you guys can laugh if you want and say that I got wrecked, whatever. I'll take my 120% profit and look for the next trade. Um, but yeah, I'm going to jump over to the Ethereum chart and show you what I'm looking at here. And Ethereum actually does have that trifecta pattern that I was talking about. This is what led me to take that insane Bitcoin trade that I'm currently in. We have, if we take a support box with this wick area here, you can see here that we did get candle bodies closing there. We tested this box once again. We got, I consider this a double bottom. You can see down here, we do have this bullish RSI divergence, so I have a line pointing that out, and we have this bullish pivot point here. That's the trifecta I was talking about. The one thing right now is I would really like to see candle bodies start to close, and this should happen in the next hour or so if it does, but we should start closing candles above this red line. And even if we retest the line, especially if it happens to be right at the box, right at the yellow line, etc., that has the potential to act as quite a springboard, if I am not mistaken. We'll have to see how that plays out, but that's definitely something you want on your guys' radar. Where we might end up running into trouble, I'm just going to extend this bit of a 4-hour resistance line here. We might even be in some sort of a channel if we have this. Actually, that looks like a beautiful falling wedge, guys. Nothing saying that we have to keep coiling up in here, but if we could get a third touch point up, or really even down and then up, that would really validate the pattern in my opinion. And if we start getting closes above here and getting a support flip, well, we could be going to much higher prices, guys, with Ethereum as well. So that's kind of my take on Ethereum right now. I do think right now it is getting primed to break out. We're going to have to see. None of this has to happen, of course. And of course, if you are entering a trade, use proper bankroll management and set stop losses, guys. Don't be idiots about it. Of course, I'm not calling you guys idiots. Just make sure you're smart about it and always limit your risk. Be willing to take profits and that sort of stuff, you guys. Last but not least, we're going to take a look at the US dollar index. I have pointed this out in the past before. I think I've been pointing out this purple trend line since we were actually trading back in here somewhere. And I said to watch out for this downtrend line. A lot of people are saying the US dollar index is breaking out and that sort of stuff, but this is just a typical downward sloping trend line that I love to play, you guys. And of course, we could end up breaking back above this and get a support flip and take off from there, in which case I think Bitcoin will be in for quite a correction. But it hasn't happened, and so far we have tested this resistance line that I've mapped out, I think it was close to a month ago, and we're still testing it absolutely perfectly, you guys. And here you can see I drew out a bit of a support trend line, and we have got a bit of a resist flip there on the RSI, so that is also something to consider, you guys. I don't think the US dollar is overly healthy. Everyone knows that with stimulus and the dollar printing and all that sort of shit, that I don't see why the US dollar would have to improve anytime soon. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't drop this green support. And if we drop that green support, oh, that comes, I don't even know if I can here. Yeah, zoom way out to the weekly, guys, just to kind of show you how significant of a trend line this is. It goes back to April of 2011. So that's a significant trend line, you guys. As well, we have the horizontal right here. If we can end up breaking this green trend line as well as this cluster here, oh, I think fireworks are going to happen in the crypto space. Again, that's ways away, guys. That doesn't have to happen. That's all theoretical at this point. Anyways, guys, if you did appreciate this content, if you wouldn't mind, just again, give me that thumbs up, subscribe if you hadn't, and follow me on Twitter. I am posting in there quite a bit now that I've figured out how to use it and that sort of stuff. And it is just easier for me to post my analysis on there if I don't have time to make a full-blown video. So watch out for that as well. Other than that, you guys, I think that's all I have to say today. Hopefully you're all having a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of your evening. And with that, I'm out. Stay safe, my friends. Peace.